Alam niyo po, itong panahon po ng pandemya, itong quarantine period ito, maraming iniisip ang mga tao na ito'y panahon ng kawalan,
Mhm.
losses. You know, they lose jobs, they lose business ng mga opportunities. Pero ganun ba talaga yun? Baka naman nagbubukas ang Panginoon ng mga ibang mga pagkakataon. Ano ba ang palagay mo?
Pwede po, Bishop. Actually, ito pong feature natin ngayon sa ating bagong Lighthouse Cafe episode ay meron pong mga businesses and even opportunities na mas lumagana pa po ngayong panahon ng quarantine and the pandemic season.
Lalo na yung nasa platform ng mga online.
Mhm.
Oo, kaya alam niyo napakaganda, may interesting yung ating mga interviews ngayon sapagkat featured po natin ang mag-asawang nasa likod ng Sounds Cradle.
Yes.
Ano ba yung Sounds Cradle? Pang maliliit na bata ba yun? Porque cradle. Panoorin niyo po ito sapagkat meron tayong interview sa mag-asawang si Reginald at si Kimberly. And tingnan natin kung anong magandang pagkakataon, opportunity para sa mga bata, no? Lalo na yung musically inclined.
Yes, and actually even yung music, Bishop, nakasuthi yan lalo ngayon na maraming problema sa mental
Ay,
health
naku, sinabi
issues,
ko
mga
sa'yo.
mental health ng mga, hindi lang kabataan, pero even
Cradle,
the
parang
adults.
hinihili sila ng ganyan, di ba?
Okay. And more on the businesses sa atin naman Espresso Self. I-feature naman po natin ang isang agripreneur. So yan po ay si Mr. Earl Orenza. At alam niyo, Bishop, ngayong pandemic, even yung mga kasama niya sa kanyang farm ay mga community people. Kaya nagkaroon din sila ng hanap buhay even during the pandemic
Uy,
season.
maganda. Online din yung farm?
Hindi po. Totoong farm. Legit na farm. So, abangan niyo po yan sa ating Espresso Self. And of course, stay tuned para sa ating barista dahil meron po tayong isang live question from a viewer tungkol sa hospital naman, hospital bills. Kung allowed po ba na ipalabas ang isang pasyente na hindi pa nakabayad ng hospital bills.
Lahat yan sa episode na ito ng Lighthouse Cafe,
Where good talks happen.
Well, nagagalak po tayo na ang ating Lighthouse Cafe ay nag-feature ng maraming mga areas na very relevant sa buhay natin sa kalagitnaan ng pandemic na ito. At sana ay nakatutulong sa lahat po, lalo na yung kalooban natin, minsan mabigat na mabigat, wala kang COVID. Pero ang bigat, no, ng iyong iniisip, ng iyong kalooban. Kaya sa episode na ito, nag-invite tayo ng isang mag-asawa. No, Reza. Ang kanilang line of business ay, well, pakilala na lang muna natin sila. Okay. And here is Reginald and Kimberly Tan. And Nald and Kim, welcome again sa Lighthouse Cafe. We featured you some time ago.
Around 2 years ago, if you're not mistaken.
But welcome again. Ano? Siguro bumati muna kayo.
Magandang araw, Pastor. And magandang araw, Reza. Salamat for inviting us into Lighthouse Cafe. And thank you for bringing us as guests and allowing us to share our stories. No? Kami mag-asawa.
Yes. And what is the name of your business again?
Well, it's Applied Music Platform by Sounds Cradle Inc. That's the name of our program at this point. The name of our company is Sounds Cradle. But the service we're offering is music lessons online, and this is done through our program called the Applied Music Platform. We've evolved the name from program to platform because online na tayo ngayon, hindi na tayo face it. So we had to evolve the name, but it's basically for the schools that have partnered with us. They're familiar with the program, so nag-migrate lang tayo into online platform.
Now, you are both into music, o ikaw o si Kim lang? Who is into music really?
Both of us are.
I'll let my wife answer that.
Sige, Kim.
We're both music graduates, so I guess we're both into music. It's just that we pursued different programs when we were in college. Si Reg was a composition major, and I was a voice major. But eventually, when we got into this business, it's still very much music related.
That's good. So how many years na ang Sounds Cradle?
Officially, this is our 8th year. We started at 2012. This is our 8th year already.
Let me ask you, since siguro magandang tanongin ko sa inyo ito, no? How is music relevant, no, in this time of pandemic? nabanggit ko lang kanina sa ating opening, na ang isip ng tao,
Mental
no,
health po ang talagang
marami
issue
ang may
ngayon.
anxiety,
Yes, ang
marami
mga
ang
tao
depressed,
ngayon,
no?
right.
Mabigat ang kalooban nila. Is there something in music that lifts them up?
I can recall something that just happened to us yesterday, because yesterday we went to the home of one of our students, one of the schools we work with, to deliver a set of drums. As the student who's just in fourth grade really, really wanted to resume his drum lessons. Napansin nga raw ng mother niya na during the pandemic, talagang nalungkot daw yung bata. The child always asked about, why can't we go to school? Why can't we hug our classmates? Kahit may Zoom classes tayo ngayon, it's still not enough to compensate for the lack of, yung parang the lack of physical presence of all.
Right.
Personal, yeah.
So it seems that the child really finds somehow finds relaxation when he's playing an instrument, and he's really enjoying it. Kaya talagang paulit-ulit na niya tinatanong sa mother niya kung pwedeng bumili na ng drums para makapag-lesson na siya, para at least makapag-enjoy siya sa pagtugtog ng mga ng music na gusto niya.
Parang gadgets are not enough. Kahit bigyan mo ng gadget yung bata, bigyan mo ng computer yung bata, hindi rin no?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, kaya nga alam, as a pastor, I always say that music is the right hand of preaching, because it does not only lift the spirit, but it makes us ready, before coming to God's presence actually.
And I suppose parang outlet din po siya. Tama po ba? Like for example, kung marami kang iniisip, yung ganyan, anxiety, and even mga problems, kailangan may mga outlet din ng mga, lalo mga kabataan, Tama po ba? And music can be one of those effective outlets.
Yeah, actually, we have parents who would actually literally say that it was to the music classes who kept their kids sane during this whole lockdown
Keep
thing.
sane.
Keep sane.
That's exact.
Nababaliw na sa
That's the exact term they use. Actually, I think tayo as grown-ups, kahit paano we're able to go out, do our stuff, no? I mean, like kami pag nagsasawa kami, kahit paano we can still do our grocery. We have a nearby mall dito. There were times that kahit paano, sige, labas lang tayo kahit na ilang minutes, then we come back home. But the kids, they're not really allowed to go out, eh.
Yes.
And like what my wife said yesterday when we delivered the drum set, when we helped set up the drum set, we were talking with the mom. The mom kept saying, it's very hard to explain to a 9-year-old why they have to be staying at home during this time.
Yeah.
So it's very, very hard. So so the dad put in, and the parents were very supportive. They said, well, at least let's get him something rather than nakababad sila sa computer, nakababad sila sa video games.
Correct.
So I think a lot of people are recognizing that need also to have that outlet, just as Reza mentioned.
Well, in fact, in one of our discussions, sabi ko nga, alam mo, ang magandang mga business lines ngayon, yung mga business lines na nag-focus sa service at saka sa virtues. No? Hindi yung product lang, hindi yung gadget lang. Anyway, my second question to you is this. So, given itong line na ito, na kailangan talaga ng kalooban, ng puso, ng mind ng tao, how were you now? Anong nangyari sa inyo, no? How was your business? How were you during this time of pandemic? We're over 5 months na, no?
Well, to be honest, Pastor, we were initially very afraid, no, because the nature of our business is we basically have to partner with schools.
Yes.
But during this pandemic, we had to be relieved. The schools were very sad to let us go. Of course, they kept reassuring us, now once this is over, you're coming back. But of course, the reality is, while this is all going on, wala eh. In fact, we were discussing the other day with some of our teachers, as we say, when we visit the schools actually allow us to visit them pa rin to pick up stuff and equipment, di ba, may mga naiwan. when we talk to the guards, the guards will always say that no one's coming here, not even the teachers. So you have these huge buildings with no one going there. So it's almost impossible to bank the original, or at least the old form of partnership with the schools, no. So with that, we were in many ways we were afraid na kapapaano. Primarily, of course, the income. Second is so kahit paano you were providing jobs for teachers, and now of course you can no longer provide jobs for them. We were very afraid, but thank God that when this happened, and again, good mentors advised us. They said, "Why don't you try going online? There's nothing to lose." And fortunately, when we migrated online, a lot of people followed us. No, we're hoping that there will be more as the weeks go by. But God is good. We were surprised that we hit our target. At least yung break even namin na hit namin kaagad within
That's
a few
great.
weeks.
Oh.
And then after that we hit much more already. Right now we have this faith goal that we have with my wife. Sabi ko, let's hit 500 students by the end of the year. No?
Wow.
And currently we have 140. As of a few hours ago, we had 140, which is much more than we were expecting. And with that, kahit pa paano, again, sabi ko, we are able to provide jobs pa rin for teachers. In fact, dumami teachers namin, dumami somehow yung operations and all. So, yun, to answer your question directly, it was much better than what we expected.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How do you go about it po, Sir Reginald? Ano? Kasi ngayon talaga, like online, may mga parang synchronous and asynchronous. But for music, kasi minsan kailangan ng personal, touch of yung mga teacher, di ba? Kailangan to encourage. How do you go about it in an online setting, online platform?
We tried to make sure that the online classes would just be one-on-one to be able to ensure the quality of the teaching and the relationship between the student and the teacher. Kasi parang na-realize namin na pag medyo marami yung estudyante pag online, it will be very hard to control the classroom. Tapos syempre, if we still have we have the musical instruments, it can end up very noisy if the kids might play around. So all of our online lessons for now are one-on-one. So the way we relate to the students is still very much like the way we relate to them during the actual face-to-face lessons that we used to have. Although, syempre, the only difference now, mas mahirap lang ng konting mag-explain ng mga concepts. Syempre, parang kung dati, tuturo mo lang siya or sasample lang sa tabi niya. Ngayon, talagang you really have to choose your words properly to be able to teach the student the correct way of doing things. But it's something that the teachers are working on. And so far naman, I think it has been able to work for the past few months.
Okay. So what sort of lessons do you have right now? Anong mga instrumento ang tinuturo?
Ako po, I teach voice, and we also have a team of teachers who teach voice. And we have piano, violin, guitar, ukulele, bass guitar, and drum.
Oh.
Wow.
Do you offer any brass instruments?
Not as of the moment. We tried to offer sax at one point. The instrument itself is very expensive.
Oo nga, tama.
And I think accounting our primary market, which is mostly the Chinese community, the interest has always been focused on the instruments that we have mentioned in our program. But we're not discounting all of that because it is our vision to be able to include all the instruments into the program. It's just that there has to be a recognition na dahan-dahan tayo, wag pagbiglaan din.
Alam mo, I need to confess to you that music is very near to my heart because
You also play
I grew up in music.
And may playlist na po siya sa YouTube.
I was a part of the starter of the Papuri.
outlet mo ngayon, Bishop, ano? Kasi
And,
ngayong pandemic, napakarami po niyang mga songs.
I've done a lot of music this pandemic. and it's, hindi lang sa akin eh. But a lot of people who see, no,
Right.
nakikita nila sa social media, would message you and they would say a lot of thank you, a lot of appreciation. Alam mo, yung apo ko, si Zeph, yung anak ni Reza, no, he's a 7-year-old kid. Nagdugat nga kami. I, yung likes, umabot yata ilang views yun, 27,000. My goodness, sabi ko, hindi ko yung naasahan to from a 7-year-old. Pero ganon, Reginald, that came ang impact ng music.
Right. And actually, personally po, no, since we're also staying during the pandemic, one of the things that I appreciate then is yung natututo din at a young age, even the songs, the old songs that we love, because of the constant hearing na may memorize din niya. Actually, my next question din po actually sa inyo is, yung pong mga age group ng mga batang nagiging students po ninyo, how young and how old po yung tinatanggap niyo sa program niyo? May limit po ba?
Officially, we would always put in writing, preferably 7 years old and above. Now, as to the age limit, no. We recently have a 70-year-old grandfather enrolled with us.
Wow.
Wow.
He was
Ano
very young.
instrument po?
Voice. For now, voice. Yeah.
Voice.
But again, sabi ko, there's no limit. When we were doing face-to-face, my oldest student was a 75-year-old Lola. I had 3 senior citizens at that time. But of course, sabi ko nga, when you have students who are seniors, it's more ministry than teaching. No? A lot of times it's really spending time with them, it's talking to them. The expectation is not the same. No? I mean, if it's a 10-year-old kid and you expect them to be able to sing a piece properly, it's really more on if you see them being happy, that they have their outlet, that's more than enough already. But we also accept 5 to 6-year-olds, but we always strongly recommend that the guardians be beside them, because sabi nga, the intention, of course, supposedly is, at least this is our perspective as teachers, no, that when we teach, supposedly, pag face to face, the idea is the parents step out of the classroom, and what's left is the teacher and the student. That's to establish the relationship and authority. But that's almost impossible when you're doing distance learning, because how can you establish authority when your student is 5 years old and they're probably, I don't know, 10 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away, di ba? Hindi mo matasaway. You cannot call their attention. You cannot do anything. If they step out of the camera, wala ka lang magagawa. So we would always say parents have to be there, or guardians have to be there beside them to call their attention. So with that, we will consider the 5 to 6 years old, but probably nothing younger than that as of the moment. No.
Well, you mentioned ministry, Reginald. Are you in any way attached, no? Or are there any churches right now who get your services para mag-develop yung music nila, lalo ngayon sa pandemic na ngayon?
Well, me and my wife were both worship team leaders in Jubilee Evangelical Church. But to say that are there churches who are tapping us for the services in particular, if you're talking about directly to teach their worship team or things like that, then no. We are currently in service with the church. So like what I do right now is I do the arranging for our team when we have our Sunday services, and then someone else does the mixing, the record, the actual thing. So with that, yan yung ginagawa namin. However, we did recognize that there are a lot of at least Chinese churches who are now, I can speak of the Filipino churches. Our immediate network has always been the Chinese churches, but there are a lot of Chinese churches who are now shifting towards that, who are
Yes.
taking now the online service more seriously. I think there was a time now we are still hoping that, hey, maybe after 3 months we could go back to the face-to-face or the physical service. But that sooner or later, I think lately we've been accepting it's not going to happen. So we have other churches who are consulting with us already. Or how did you do the licensing? How do you do what's the process? What do you guys do? And then you realize not a lot of people do have the technology or the skill
Correct.
to do the recordings or the mixing or the sound engineering stuff. So there is I've discussed with some of my teammates. We said, hey, maybe we could do this as part of the ministry, that we could extend to other churches. Sabi ko, if we have to sponsor, then that's fine. I mean, it's part of the building of the kingdom of God anyway. So that's in the works right now. We're looking into all of that.
I think we would be on the same page on that matter, Reginald, kasi syempre we've been exposed to media, and actually a lot of pastors come to me asking for help, hindi lang sa but even doon sa setup ng audio ng, I come from audio background din kasi. Pagkatapos, about licensing. Palagay ko, we need to...
And even yung editing, yung end
Yes.
result that you show online,
Yung
it
mga
takes
virtual
a lot
choir na
of
yun,
time to
diba?
edit
Oo.
everything.
Alam mo, developing itong
Normal
area na
natin.
ito eh.
If I may ask po, being in this industry for a lot of years, ano po yung joy in being able to teach music
Yeah.
specifically to children?
Well, generally, kasi, especially when I was still teaching in the school setting, I think for most kids, they actually have a lot of fun in music class. And especially for the small kids, yung mga grades 1 and 2, it's actually very delightful whenever we would go to their classroom to fetch them. And when they found out that it's music class, they're like, yay! So they're really so happy. And then eventually when they're in music class, of course, we work on their songs, we work on their pieces. But at the same time, parang you could feel that they're more relaxed, that they're able to express
Right.
themselves better. So I think the fact that you're able to draw those things out from them, the joy, the being more at ease, I think that in itself is already a source of joy for us as music teachers.
You're right. Well, alam mo, napaka-ikli ng kwentuhan natin, I guess. We should continue this line ng pag-uusap in the future. Kasi ang pinaghahandaan ngayon ng mga tao, Pasko na eh. Nagpa-practice na sila ng Christmas songs kasi meron na ngayon. So we expect a lot more of people get involved in this area of music. But anyway, Reginald and Kim, you are free to invite people to your school, the Sounds Cradle.
And if you have a website that they can visit.
The time is yours. Sige, go on ahead.
We will be officially launching our website. So do visit us at www.soundscradle.com. Feel free to check out our products and services and all. And we welcome you to enjoy the journey of learning music together. No age too old for us.
Great. Kahit Sounds Cradle, pero merong 70-year-old na
75 years old. No one's too old to learn.
Well, anyway.
Sorry for us, Pastor. We're exploring the... Kasi before we went online, we already had a division that's actually handling SPED. And that's growing already. We have around, I think we had 6 or 7 students since we launched it. I think it's been a year. We had a very generous sponsor who literally said, I don't care how many students are enrolled in the SPED program. I will make a full sponsor. Just to get people not to be ashamed, because there are people that were ashamed that their kids have special needs. And she said, no, everyone should be comfortable na kahit na yung anak natin may special needs. And then of course, when this pandemic hit, we didn't really know how to continue that aspect, because when we were talking to the therapist, a lot of them were saying we need the physical contact talaga, we need the physical presence. So, but we're not giving up on that. Sabi ko, hopefully when everything normalizes, maybe it could be part of the
I-reserve
program.
mo na. Pag natuloy na yan at ongoing na yan, give us a time and then we'll do another interview sa Lighthouse Cafe.
Kayo.
Okay. So, well, the Lord bless your ministry and your line ng business, Reginald. And again, thank you so much for this time that you can be with us here. Well, wag po kayong aalis at marami pa tayong pag-uusapan sa episode na ito ng Lighthouse Cafe.
Mga usaping in, mga paksang trending,
Mga talakayang may kabuluhan.
lifestyle at kultura ang sariling atin.
Buhay Pinoy, pag-usapan natin dito sa
Espresso
Espresso
Self.
Self.
More than half of 2020 is done. In fact, papasok na tayo sa quarter 4. At habang tumatagal ay marami rin nakaka-experience ng mga financial challenges dahil sa kawalan ng trabaho at sa hinaharap ng ating economy. Pero itong panahong ito ay naging daan din upang maging innovative ang ibang mga organizations.
At sabi nga nila, habang may buhay ay may pag-asa. Kaya naman, hindi dapat tayo sumuko. At alam mo, dapat nga natin tong mas panghawakan bilang mga Kristiyano dahil meron tayong pananampalataya mula sa Panginoon. And anyway, alam mo, very exciting ang araw na ito dahil makakapanayam natin ang isa na namang entrepreneur. Actually, he is an agripreneur. Ayan. He's a farm owner and the founder of Salvaje Chili Products.
Wow, grabe recall naman yung pangalan yan. Kakaiba, Antoinette. And we know that he was featured also in Agriculture Monthly dahil sa kanyang chili farm at sa product line that he set up in just 5 months. So let's be inspired with this story. Welcome to Espresso Self, Mr. Earl Orenza.
Hello.
Welcome to
po,
Lighthouse
welcome.
Cafe.
Hi. Hello.
Thanks for joining us today. Siguro a bit of a background lang, Earl, about yourself. What do you do? Kumusta ka ngayon?
I'm a farmer. Magsasaka ako. I'm an entrepreneur. I used to also be a professional. I used to be with ABS-CBN. I was one of the 11,000 who got laid off.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm one of them. But I've been doing business even if meron akong trabaho full-time as an employee. Ginagamit ko yung weekends ko to do the things that I love doing, specifically ang farming. So, nabanggit nyo nga kanina that ako po ang magsasaka ng Salvaje Chili Products. I guess ang naging reason kung bakit ako nandito was because of the write-up by agriculture.com.ph. So, I'm excited to be here. I'm not an expert, pero kung ano po yung natutunan at alam ko, I'm very willing to share them all.
Very quickly lang, Antoinette, no? Just curious dun sa yung farming, Earl.
Yes.
Why did you endeavor dito sa farming? Is it a love for farming ever since you were young, or medyo na-feel mo yung need, especially nowadays?
3 years ago, I had parang midlife midlife crisis ata. Tawag ata nila doon, midlife.
Quarter life.
Quarter life. Sige, I like that. When I turned 41, I asked myself, sabi ko, anong gagawin ko pag hindi na ako nagtatrabaho? So, sabi ko, gusto ko mag-retire sa isang farm, pero paano ko gagawin yun? Kailangan ko siyang aralin kasi wala namang farmer sa family ko. So, I was reminded by my father that I have a piece of garden daw sa Pangasinan, sa Malasike. Bakit hindi ko na lang daw doon gawin yung mga plano ko? Kasi initially, I didn't know what to do. Basta gusto ko yung idea of nasa farm, tatanda. Parang ang saya. But I really don't know. I didn't have any idea on how to do it. I didn't know that I have green thumb. So I went to I search around. I mean, I research. I went to my friend who became my mentor, invited me to his farm in Tanay. So weekly, every weekend, wala akong work. I go there and try whatever they're doing. Then slowly, natutunan ko siya. I got my hands dirty. Sinubukan ko talaga magtanim and I enjoyed. Sabi ko, gagawin ko to. That time, may 3 generations na of people, settlers there. So sabi ko, pagka ganyan, medyo mahirap din siguro gawin. Kasi when we talk about lands at this time, di ba? Tapos may mga na parang mahirap para sa mga tao pag nalaman nilang gagamitin na yung land. So sabi ko sa father ko sige, if you're going to give me that piece of land, kailangan din nating kausapin yung mga tao para din alam nila yung plano. Pero wag mo silang bibiglain ha, kasi sabi ko magugulat yung mga yan. So we went there, and then when my father announced that, there's a plan in using the piece of land, naturally the people there got worried. I saw in their faces and in their kids' faces that, di ba, baka nate-threaten sila na baka paalisin. I wasn't that kind of person. In fact, sabi ko sa kanila, to make the long story short, don't worry, I'm not gonna ask you to leave. Tayo pa nga ang magtutulungan. Sabi ko, help me so that I can also help you in return. So, ginawa namin, yung mga tao doon, they were tricycle drivers, they were helpers doing some odd jobs like, nag-laundry sila, ganyan. Kung ano yung mga natutunan ko sa pagpunta ko sa farm ng Tanay, tsaka sa Google, at tsaka YouTube, at tsaka sa ilang seminars na natinan ko, ina-apply ko doon. I taught them how to do it. So in their eyes, I was an expert. So sabi ko, inaaral ko din. Pero pagdating doon, nagawa namin. So I assigned the farm, assigned the head of the family to be the farm manager. And then the family, they started helping me. Of course, I provided salaries for them already, even if nagsisimula pa lang. So that way, hindi na sila kailangan mamasukan o mag-tricycle drive. Meron na sila magiging fixed income. It's not that big, but it's helpful. Kasi nagsusubok pa lang naman din ako mag-farm. So yun ang start ng kwento ng farm. Nagulat ako na kapag patubo kami. We started June. Nakapagpitas kami sometime September. And then, I was surprised na, nakapagpalago at saka nakapagpabunga ako. Marunong pala ako magtanim.
Expert pala talaga.
People there ask me, sir, maganda na po yung trabaho sa Maynila. Bakit nandito kayo? Sabi ko, masarap yung buhay dito. Probably I could say that because I had a fixed income too from my company, di ba? Sila kasi iba din yung hirap ng buhay nila. So while I was farming and enjoying already the harvest, I saw how really, the community, how poor the community was. Sabi ko, I could do something more. So yung farming became parang an instrument for me to realize that the community is really in need. Because hirap sila dahil yung mga ibang nagtatrabaho para sa farm, binabayaran ko or I pay them, depends, kunyari daily, kung may papagawa ako, magpipito sila, maglilinis sila, then they get to have their allowance that day. But I realized that I could do more. Sabi ko, dapat siguro my dream was, to create a livelihood para meron na silang steady income. And then I had so many challenges sa pagpitas, pag-transport ng mga sili sa palengke, sa bagsakan, with the trader. I had so many challenges there that I thought I could, there should be an answer for this one. Na hindi lang yung problema ko logistics, masasagot din yung problema ng mga tao in terms of fixed salary or livelihood. And then, yun. Kumbaga, I was just running into problems and then just trying to solve them. And then along the way, I had a problem with the pick-up nung portion of my pitas, of my harvest. Sabi sa akin ng tito ko, ipakiusap mo na lang na bilhin. So my pride was really hurt. Sabi ko, pinagpaguran ko to ba't ko ipapakiusap? Sabi ko gano'n. That time, I was about to go to Bolinao for a road trip. During the time na nangyari yung problema, hindi na pick up yung about 30 kilos of my chilies. Nasabi sa akin, pakiusap ko, I was so hurt, hurt emotionally na ba't kailangan ko ipakiusap na bilhin yung harvest ko, samantalang pinagpaguran nga ng mga tao. So I was, I really talked to Jesus that time. Sabi ko, lead me to something, Lord, lead me, guide me, lead me to something good amidst all the challenges. Alam mo, nagulat ako, parang sinagot niya kaagad yung prayer ko a day after because one of my farm workers who used to be a long-time cook in a Korean restaurant. Antoinette, you're Korean, right? So,
mukha lang po.
So, sabi niya sa akin, nagpadala siya ng picture sa akin. Sabi niya, Ninong, pwede ko po bang gamitin tong mga nabulok na sili? Gagawin ko chili oil. Sabi ko, marunong kang gumawa ng chili oil. Sabi niya, opo. Naalala ko nga, nga pala, cook siya for a long time. I mean, last decade, he's been cooking. Sabi ko, sige gawin mo, pagbalik ko dyan sa Malasiki, kasi I was in Bolinao, titikman ko. So I went, and then tasted. I went back, I tasted. Sabi ko, masarap, improve pa natin. Tapos sabi ko, yan ang sagot sa problema ko. Yan ang sagot sa problema natin, sabi ko ngayon. So we brand it, being me, I'm a marketing in profession. Sabi ko, okay, we brand it, then we put it out in the market. Gulat ako, parang when I announced it in Facebook, in my social media, my immediate network, they ordered. Napalapit yung Christmas. Ubos. Week after.
Wow.
Sabi ko okay, so people now, in the farm, hindi lang sila naglinis ng farm, nagpipitas, nag-aayos ng halaman. Na rin, nag-sterilize kami ng jars, nagluluto sila, nagsiseal sila, nagbabox, and then we ship it to Manila.
Nice.
So nagkaroon sila ng regular income the way I kay Jesus how to address all the problems that
Galing.
So people thought when the salbahe chili oil came out, people thought I was preparing for that. Sabi ko hindi, I was just I was addressing. So eyes open, I kept my mind open, and sabi ko okay, pero hindi pwedeng matapos doon, hindi pwedeng chili oil lang ang gagawin. Kasi I believe in economy of scale. I believe in product line. I had to, because Pangasinan is known for, bagoong, alamang.
Yeah, seafoods.
Yes, gawa tayo ng chili bagoong, alamang, masarap yung So, chili oil, salbahe and salbahe chili oil was born November 2, to be exact. Pagdating ng mga first week of December, the bagoong was born. Sabi ko, okay, dalawa na.
Bagong line. Nice.
So, nalabas namin yung chili bagoong. People got crazy about it. Ang sarapan naman sila. Salamat naman sa Panginoon. Tapos, I didn't want to stop there. So, by January, I launched the chili and crunchy garlic, which actually now, our best seller. So, kami parang, okay, sabi ko, happy na muna ako dyan. At least we can our salbahe, it has a product line and stop right there. Ngayon, we're developing our hot sauce, we're developing our suka, our chili flakes, and others. In fact, by September, we will be relaunching our snack line, yung mga maning maanghang.
Wow.
We call her
Ah.
Brunanda. We had her before. We're preparing lang for a bigger SKU. So, there, I think it's just, it's just growing. I didn't expand my farm in terms of land, the number of plants. I expanded through the products. So my farm, yung maliit nating tanim sa Palasike, yung kadalasan kinukulang na rin ng supply para gawing sa atin. So I work with the other neighboring farmers. At least ako na yung bumibili ng produkto nila. They are assured of a buyer. Hindi na nila diba? So, yung mga ganung bagay, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Earl. Alam mo, ang Gabby, as I was listening, si Earl pala hindi lang agripreneur, no? Kundi community organizer din. Actually, yun yung unang tumakbo sa isip ko. Kasi imaginein mo yung parang vision niya or gusto ko lang mag-retire. And then, pagdating niya ng Pangasinan, nakita niya yung lupa, meron ng mga tao doon. But instead of getting the land from the community, nakipagtulungan. And, di ba, parang lo and behold, as he opened an opportunity for these community members, mas lumaki lalo yung, yan, ngayon, hindi naman natin, or hindi, definitely hindi naman inasahan ni Earl na ngayon may 3 product lines na and continuously expanding. So, talagang grabe din yung yung manifold na parang balik as you have been a blessing, I believe, dito sa mga pamilya po nito. So, yeah. Nakakatuwa.
Blessing din sila sa akin. I have to say that because without them, I cannot do this on my own. So
yes, definitely.
Alitan lang. What I gave them also is when kumbaga parang to make them, to make them more, to make it more beneficial for them. Ang sabi ko sa kanila, for every jar that we sell, there's a portion of the sale that goes to a common fund which they have access to para sa pag-aaral ng mga anak nila, pag-aaral ng mga health needs nila.
Nice.
So, I mean, I haven't really proven anything yet. Kaya yung mga tao sinasabi sa akin, bakit hindi mo ikwento yan? Ilagay mo sa promotional. Sabi ko, no, wala pa eh. Kasi sisimula pa lang ako eh. Tignan muna natin.
Yeah.
It's really the story of...
You started last year, Earl, and how big is siguro the company, yung workforce mo, yung family niyo, yung community niyo?
No, we started 2017. Salbahe was born 2017. The farm I started farming June of 2017. Salbahe came to life November of that year. Ngayon, meron na tayong na-expand na natin yung commissary. May mga dagdag na rin tayo mga tao na tumutulong na doon din within that community din, kasi ako ang goal ko lang naman is to help the immediate community eh. So na maximize natin yung efficiency nila. I'm also training them in terms of management kasi people from the province, they tend to be slower than us. Diba kasi iba yung pacing. Iba yung pace, yes, and that's normal to them. But I really like them to grow, to be successful in what they do. So I coach them also. So ngayon yung efficiency, gumanda na siya. You're asking Gab about the manpower. I didn't really add so much people. I just concentrated in the several families there. But the way they work now is it's really faster than when we started. We had our commissary already. We are expanding as we speak. We had an office. We have an office already in Quezon City. So the structure is better. Before kasi kami yung nagbebenta online. Siyempre, easiest, di ba? You sell it through your network. Naturally, your friends and family will immediately support you by pag nag-post ka social media mo, like, FB and IG. Pero syempre, I wanted I wanted to make it bigger para ma-achieve lang yung dream ko for the brand and for the community. We're working on export now. Natigil lang because of the pandemic. All the papers are hampered processes, but we're getting there. We have already admin and releasing division here in Quezon City office. So the efficiency medyo umayos na. Mas nakaka-fulfill na kami ng mas mabilis sa maraming tao. And we shared also the sales. Hindi lang kami during the lockdown, 'di ba, ang dami nawalan ng trabaho, ang dami ding talagang naturally nangangailangan ng pera. So we decided to relaunch our reseller program. Kasi we wanted to share the blessing kasi kami blessed na kami. Pero gusto namin mag-share pa sa iba din by providing opportunity to have their own business. So we launched the reseller program nung May 15, and there's a lot of resellers namin ngayon natin we are available nationwide through them. So nakakatuwa lang kasi kumbaga we also somehow nakatulong tayo sa nagbigay ng income sa mga resellers natin, sa mga taong nagtiwala. Up until now, we're still doing that. We were surprised during the lockdown that most of the businesses really, di ba, alam naman natin, marami na apektuhang negosyo. Pero the lockdown when people stayed at home, they started cooking on their own. They discovered salbahe could be the best food pair, pang halo, pang ingredients, pang sauce. Oo, grabe. So,
pang spice up.
Nag-save video na niluluto ko yung prawns, nilagyan ko ng ganito, and then people started following. So if you have time, check out our Instagram, salbahe_chili products. Our DMD, she managed to collect, and then pinagsama-sama, she gathered and then put into highlights yung mga stories ng mga tao. Gulat ako.
Recipes.
Recipes.
Nice.
I guess it was successful in terms of people knew and experience yung salbahe during the time kung kailan din hirap na hirap ang maraming negosyo. So also a blessing for us yung mga reseller partners natin dahil naikalat pa nila yung salbahe products natin. Okay,
alam mo, Gabby, yes, kulang yung time natin no? But definitely, no, I think sa kwento ni Earl, marami kasi yung nagsashy away from from venturing into business, especially sa farming. Kasi alam naman natin, di ba, dito sa ating bansa, marami talaga na farmers, we know, na talagang yung kinikita nila ay sobrang liit kaysa sa effort, time, and everything na ini-exert nila. So, siguro we just want to also ask words of encouragement maybe from Earl as we go to the end of this segment. Maybe you can encourage also the viewers, maybe farmers or those na gusto din na mag-start ng business.
Just don't be afraid to try. Alam mo, yung opportunities are always there. You just have to open your eyes. And then once you see the opportunity, of course, do your assignment. Do the numbers. Tignan mo din yung market mo. It's really ideal if you do a business that's really, makes you happy para when you wake up in the morning, gagawin mo siya at masaya ka. That's ideal. Pero kailangan mo ding tignan lahat ng anggulo. Tignan mo especially yung business side. You need to know your numbers, diba? Hindi porket parang okay ito ngayon, pero diba? Kumbaga parang tignan mo din kung saan siya, kung ano yung business and how you'll grow it. Ako kasi hindi ako takot sumubok. Siguro malakas lang din ang loob ko. Ano to? I have other businesses too, in fact, but I'll talk about Salbahe muna. Ano lang, kumbaga, iba naman yung naging story ni Salbahe. Si Salbahe kasi, I was just working on my dream of retiring to a farm, but along the way, I saw opportunity, and then just being me, siguro na meron akong, I mean, I take every challenge as an opportunity. Kailangan ko lang tignan kung paano. So I guess, ang gusto ko lang sabihin is, pag meron kayong nakitang pagkakataon, pag-aralan nyo, open nyo lang yung minds nyo, and I'm sure it will be beneficial for you, especially if you want to have your own business. Ako, I like building brands. That's what I'm known for by my friends. I, nobody will stop us from selling anything. Magbenta ka ng, halimbawa, face mask because it's significant now, then that's okay. Magbenta ka ng pandesal or ubi pandesal, and that's
Ube
okay
cheese.
siya, di ba? Pero if you have the chance and the time to work on your own brand, then you build your own brand. Kasi in the long run, mas maganda yun Parang mas solid if you creating something that from scratch, and just maintain it. You just have to sustain it kasi ang kaibahan, honestly, ang dami masarap gumawa ng mga chili products. Ang dami. Sa chili group, ang gagaling nila. The only problem that I see is consistency. Kasi pag nasimulan dahil gusto nilang gawin ngayon, gagawin nila, a month after, 2 months, 3 months, makikita mo, lumalaylay. Kailangan mo lang talaga maging consistent. I think that's the secret sauce sa lahat ng kailangan mong gawin if you want your own business to succeed. Just be consistent.
Be consistent. Yes. Siguro final invitation na lang, Earl, to those people either who want to become part of your company through reselling, or maybe those who are interested to try your products kasi talaga namang nakaka-spice ng
Nakakagutom
usapan. Nakakagutom. Very appetizing yung usapan natin, Earl. Go ahead.
I'd like to make 2 invitations. First, ang ganda ng bansa natin, ang yaman ng lupa natin. Ang tingin ng mga tao sa agriculture o sa pagsasaka, well, nag-iba na, 'di ba? In my own little way, I'm saying my message through what I do. I-appreciate natin ang agriculture. Masarap magtanim. Oo, mahirap siya, lalo na alam niyo naman na we get little support from, as farmers, but if you have the resources, 'di ba? If you have time and meron kayong konting interest, subukan nyo. Tapos let it grow in you. Let's go back to agriculture. Let's appreciate what we have. Ang yaman-yaman ng bansa natin, ang ganda ng lupa natin. Bakit hindi natin siya subukan? 'Di ba? Maraming bata diyan na gustong sumubok sa farming. Try nyo din and see where it will take you. My second invitation is I want Salbahe Chili Products to be to open the doors for young entrepreneurs who wants to try their own business, but hindi nila alam kung paano simulan. Please check out Salbahe, our Instagram, Salbahe_Chili Products, and please see all the highlights and the feed. More on the highlights. Tignan nyo kung paano nag-enjoy yung mga tao so that you'd know that there's really a good market for this one. And if you become our partner reseller, then baka makatulong din kami sa pag-create ng income for you guys. Subukan natin. When you message our Instagram, sasagot naman kami kagad. Every week or regularly in a month, we hold Zoom meetings with our partner resellers because I personally wanna assure that everybody's growing. I talk to our resellers personally. Titignan ko, nag-share kami ng strategy, nag-share kami ng kung anong pwedeng gawing promotion together so that everybody is helping each other. Para lang, we grow together through sales.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much again, Earl. I think sobrang, sabi nga ni Gabby, appetizing na yung food. And also this discussion, this conversation. And I really like what you said. In the end, no, na we want everyone and we want us to grow together. Kasi yun naman din talaga sa tingin ko yung kailangan natin at this time of pandemic talaga. That,
Tayo lang
totoo yan. So, and yun nga, as the Lord opens opportunities for us, then let us also open opportunities too for others dahil yun, tayo talaga ang makapagtulong-tulungan. Thank you so much again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you very much, Earl. Talagang farming na pag-usapan natin and that's in fact the essence of growing also together. And I think you captured it really well. I am reminded of what we have in the Bible also, that whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. And we have an inspiring a blessing from your testimony, Earl, of how your position of being blessed, being equipped, led to helping others. So maraming salamat, and hope really more people can be inspired, can be blessed with your story. Thank you once again, Earl. And for more biblical principles on how to grow spiritually, let's listen to Bishop Ruben in Hebrews.
Welcome sa Hebrews. Ito po ang bahagi ng Lighthouse Cafe na naglalayo na bigyang daan sa ating mga pinag-uusapan sa kabuuan ng programang ito, ang mga ilang prinsipyo, mga katotohanan, mga magagandang bagay na makukuha natin mula sa salita ng Diyos. Kaya, Hebrews. Ibig sabihin, ang Panginoon ang siyang nagbuburu para po sa atin. At sa episode na ito, pinag-uusapan natin yung mga nagkakaroon ng mga businesses bilang mga pamilya, sa kalagitnaan ng pandemyang ito. Kasi po itong quarantine o pandemyang ito ay panahon po ng kawalan. Losses, ika nga. Many people lose many things in lives. They lose opportunities, they lose mga kabuhayan nila, mga pleasure, comfort, entertainment. People lose a lot of things, kahit mga mahal sa buhay. Kaya maraming nadi-distress. Although, meron din naman mga kaibigan, mga kababayan, na mga ilang families na punong-puno po sila ng mga creativity. Lalo na yung may mga maibabahagi naman sa ibang mga tao. However, ang magandang sigurong pag-usapan natin, para bigyang daan ng katotohanan na ito. Kasi po, sa kalagitnaan ng pandemyang ito, ang mga tao ay usually pakabig. Yung bang we tend to be very protective of ourselves. Kung ano yung para sa atin na iniisip natin, karapatan natin, para bang it's make or break po ito. Kaya gayon na lang ang kapit ng mga tao sa kung ano ang iniisip nilang para sa kanila. Pero merong talata doon sa sinasabi sa 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verses 23 to 24, na kung saan ay sinasabi dito ni Apostle Paul. Ang sabi niya, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. And then in verse 24, ang sabi niya rito ay, let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Well, unang-una, yun tungkol sa all things being lawful for me or right in my own perspective. Pero ang sabi niya, hindi lahat po ay expedient. Ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ay dapat gawin sapagkat ito ay hindi nagbibigay pakinabang para sa lahat. Alam niyo, meron tayong magandang adage sa kalagitnaan ng pandemic nito. Ang sinasabi, heal as one. Ibig sabihin, ang wellness po natin ay hindi lang pang sarili, kundi pang buong lipunan. Gayon din, marami tayong iniisip ng mga karapatan natin. Pero hindi natin ipinipilit yung iniisip natin para sa atin at sa ating pananaw ay tama sa atin, legal sa atin, ano po. Kundi, kung hindi ito tutungo sa kapakanan ng mas nakararami, medyo maghunos dili tayo. Okay? Sapagkat ang mas mahalaga yung kapakanan ng marami. Okay? Hindi yung pang-sarili. Ang sabi, all things edify not. All things do not actually build up. So, we need to consider kung ano yung effect at impact sa ibang tao nung sinasabi nating karapatan natin. And then, ikalawa, ang sabi niya, let no man seek his own. Kapag gumagawa tayo ng business, at or anything para sa ating kabuhayan, ay iniisip natin ay ito ay para sa ating wealth. Ito ay para sa ating kagaanan ng buhay, kapakanan po natin. Pero pag yan palagi ang ating pamantayan, paano naman yung dapat sa iba? For example, meron tayong ibebenta. Dapat yung ibebenta natin ay hindi dapat kasiraan ng iba. Para lang makabenta tayo, ikasisira nila. Kundi, kung ano yung binabayaran nila, it will benefit them. Ano po? Meron mga feature na para sa iba, kapag binibili nila, ay kaginhawa sa kanila at kapaki-pakinabang. In this world, marami po ang scammer. Ano po? Naku, sinasabi ko sa inyo, punong-puno na ng mga kwento ng mga scammer sa kalagitnaan po natin na ang iniisip nila, enrichment lang nila, kapakanan nila. Well, medyo pag-isipan po natin ng husto. Sapagkat sa pamamagitan ng Lighthouse Cafe, iisipin natin, He brews. Ito ang kaparaanan ng ating Panginoon para sa sarili nating kapakanan. Sana ay maging magandang pamantayan po natin yan. Pagpapalain tayo ng ating Diyos.
Magandang araw po. Welcome po sa Barista, ang segment po dito sa Lighthouse Cafe kung saan tinutugunan po namin ang inyong mga legal na katanungan. Ngayong araw po ay makakasama po natin si Ms. Fresan Katugda, isang pharmacist, para sa kanyang legal na katanungan. Magandang araw, Fresan.
Magandang araw po, Attorney Mo. So ang question ko po is there a law or regulation providing protection to patients who are not able to pay outstanding balance in the hospital?
Napakaganda ng katanungan mo, Fresan. It's very relevant ngayon, especially na meron tayong kinakaharap na pandemya. At maraming mga tao sa iba-ibang mga kadahilanin ay napupunta sa hospitals. And of course, hindi naman tayo, hindi lingid sa ating kaalaman yung kahirapan na, kumbaga, harapin ng mga bills ng mga hospital expenses. So, ang batas na sumasaklaw dyan ay yung tinatawag nating RA 9439. Ito yung batas na siyang nagbabawal na ang isang pasyente o whether siya ay fully recovered or partially recovered, partially paid or partially unpaid, ay i-detain ng isang hospital dahil sa kanyang mga unpaid na hospital bills. So, ang straight answer sa iyong katanungan ay hindi pwedeng i-detain ng isang hospital ang isang pasyente dahil lamang meron siyang unpaid bills. But of course, meron itong caveat, sapagkat ang sabi ng batas ay dapat merong may isang promissory note na secured either by a co-payee or a homemaker or isang mortgage. So, yun lamang ang kailangan ng And ang sabi dito, kahit na ito ay maging isang, sabihin natin, sa kumbaga, sa isang unfortunate na event na yung pasyente ay namatay at kakailanganin, of course, na magkaroon ng interment, ay hindi rin pwedeng pigilan ng hospital na i-release yung cadaver dahil na may unpaid bills din. So, basta as long as ito ay merong ma-execute na isang promissory note na may accompanying na co-maker na siyang mag-guarantee or magiging liable din, the same as the original payee, at merong magiging accompanying mortgage either via real property or personal property, ay hindi dapat ma-detain yung pasyente o hindi dapat i-withhold yung cadaver ng isang patay na pasyente.
So thank you po, Attorney Mo. Follow-up question lang po. Covered po ba lang ng batas na ito ang lahat ng klase ng pasyente?
Yung answer dyan sa question na yun, covered yan. Any case actually covered yan. So, walang ginawang distinction yung batas sa klase ng cases na i-cover. So, kahit na anong case na or reason kung bakit ka initially nagpa-consult or na-hospitalize, ay covered niya itong batas na ito. So, as long as naka-recover ka na at gusto mo lang lumabas or in case of death, gusto mo kunin ng family mo yung cadaver mo, kailangan mo lang mag-execute ng promissory note with an accompanying co-maker or a mortgage para ma-release ka, no? But we all know na special din yung COVID cases, no? So, ngayon may mga ibang hospitals like yung mga state hospitals na mga talagang designated na mga COVID-19 facilities na talagang sinusuportahan ng ating gobyerno. Just sa mga cases na yan, halos wala naman ang sinisingil sa kanila. Pero isang maganda rin na gusto ko i-point out na in relation dito sa batas na ito, hindi na ito covered according dun sa implementing rules and regulations. Hindi covered yung mga nasa private rooms. So pag ang pasyente ay nasa private room, hindi siya nabibigyan ng o hindi siya nasasaklaw ng batas na ito. So ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng mag-execute ka lang ng promissory note tsaka sa may co-maker or meron kang mortgage, i-release ka na ng hospital from detention. Pero itong bagay na to is contestable kasi sapagkat hindi malinaw ang batas. Hindi dito sa hindi nagtutugma yung implementing rules tsaka yung batas. And of course, alam naman natin na pagka may dalawang batas na incompatible sa isa't isa, and in this case, implementing rules and regulations tsaka yung pinakabatas, yung batas ang siyang mas bibigyan ng weight. So, ibig sabihin kung yung batas never made distinction sa klase ng mga pasyente, ibig sabihin dapat yung implementing rules and regulations in this. But of course, yun ay hindi pa yan na-challenge sa Korte Suprema.
Okay po. Thank you po, Attorney Mo.
Maraming salamat sa iyong katanungan, Fresan, at naway ito ay nabigyan namin ng kasagutan. Para sa lahat po ng ating mga manonood, kung kayo po ay may legal na katanungan, maaari lang po kayong mag-iwan ng inyong mensahe sa aming Facebook page, Lighthouse Cafe. Muli, ito po si Attorney Moses Rivera at your service.
Ayan, we come again to our closing ng ating Lighthouse Cafe. We enjoyed all our discussions. I hope that sila nag-enjoy. Anyway, ay huwag kayong mawawala next week, no? Sapagkat babalik tayo at marami tayong mga platforms.
Opo, Bishop. Actually, they can watch a replay of our episodes. Meron po yan sa ating YouTube channel. Napili lang po ang Lighthouse BBC and Facebook page, Lighthouse Bible Baptist Church. And of course, you can also download our mobile app. Yan po ang Lighthouse Spectrum. You can download it for free sa Google Play Store and App Store. At pwede niyo po mapanood ng replay ng ating mga episodes ng Lighthouse Cafe.
Naka-playlist yan dyan. Yung mga nakaraan. Kahit nung before quarantine pa. Okay, so huwag kayong mawawala. Babalik ulit tayo sa biyaya at kalooban ng ating Panginoon to give you yung mga usap-usapan natin only here at Lighthouse Cafe,
Where good talks happen.